Welcome to Burn On, Not Out, the podcast for high achievers who check the boxes, hit the goals, built the life, but know there has to be another way. I'm Brooke Dukes, your no BS business bestie, and I'm here to cut through the fluff with real stories, sharp insights, and the kind of truth that opens your eyes to a new way of creating success with ease and flow. No hacks, no hustle worship, no pretending constant activity is momentum. Just the raw, practical, and powerful shifts that happen when you stop leading from fear and start leading without the armor, with clarity and authenticity. Let's get into it. If you're the one who always needs a plan, who double checks every detail, who stays up late trying to make sure nothing falls apart and everything's perfect, this episode is for you. Because control doesn't mean confidence. Most of the time, it means you're afraid. Afraid to slow down, afraid to let go, afraid that if you stop micromanaging everything, it'll all fall apart. But what if all of that overmanaging is actually blocking the results that you want? What if the control isn't protecting your success? It's sabotaging it. Today, we're going to break down why high achievers cling to control, how it disconnects you from your instincts and your clarity, and what it actually looks like to lead without the panic underneath. So where does the need for control begin? Well, it begins in childhood, our conditioning. From the ages of 0 to 7, that is when all of our conditionings and our patterns are locked in, because we're a sponge at that point. All we're doing is we're looking around and saying, how can I fit in, be accepted, loved, recognized? And that's what we do, right? Okay, so I know that I need to be quiet in order to get love and not get in trouble. I know that I need to perform and be happy and sunny all the time in order to get love. That all comes from our childhood. It's that early success wiring. And the things that we're using for our entire lives in every area of our life to be accepted, feel loved, right? It's that proving identity through performance. We learn safety through achievement, through doing. So let me give you an example of something that happened to me. Early on, I think I was 24, 25. I worked for American Express, and we were on the corporate side of things, and I was a salesperson. They hired 300 of us at one time to go and make this big push when they first came, dating myself now, but when they first came out with the corporate card. And they told us at orientation, 150 of you will be fired within 9 months. That terrified all of us, not just me. It put us into overdrive because no way did we want to be in the 50% that was going to let go. So for the next 9 months, I killed myself. I worked so many hours. I uncovered every rock. I didn't see my family. I was just heads down. I was going to be in that top 50%. Well, I achieved it. I actually became Rookie of the Year that year, which sounds amazing. However, it came with some real fear because I was terrified. How am I going to top that? How can I do that again? Was it a fluke? Did I even earn that? What if it never happens again? And it made me even push harder to prove more, that I was worthy, that I deserved that award, that I deserved being the rookie. Because success meant safety for me. We were very poor growing up. And I knew that my mother was in a position that had she had the money to take care of us in a way that we could survive, she would have left a very bad marriage much sooner than she did. So everything to me meant success and money was safety, because when you didn't have it, you got stuck. And in my case, emotionally abused, physically abused. I mean, it was some pretty heavy stuff. So it was also proving my biological father wrong. From a very young age, he told me he wanted a boy. And yet again, my mother had failed him by not giving him a boy, and that women were not strong enough, they were not smart enough, they were not good enough, and they were absolutely not meant to be leaders. That was huge for me. That was a very limiting belief because I know, having gone through belief work and some shadow work, that deep down, I believed that. I worried he was right. So I pushed my body past its limits because I needed to prove us both wrong. And more importantly, I needed to feel safe. So I turned into a perfectionist workaholic. And I was so proud of being busy. I know many of you can relate with that, or at least know someone else. They wear their busyness as a badge of honor. Because as an abused child, I was taught in an early age to look perfect on the outside. You had to show that everything was fine. You were just fine, regardless of what was going on in your house. Well, that translated into my adult life of, regardless of what was happening inside, whether I was falling apart, it was ill, anything, I had to be perfect. I could not ever talk about anything I was experiencing that was totally normal, but I didn't feel that it was normal. I knew I was the only one experiencing it. I'll take motherhood for a prime example. I was not one of those mothers that immediately holds their baby and thinks, oh my God, this is my purpose. This is what I was put here to do. Not that I didn't love my children. Absolutely. They have been my greatest joys of my entire life, my biggest teachers. I can't say enough about how I loved motherhood. However, for years and years, that guilt, because I was convinced I was the only one that it was experiencing postpartum depression, didn't even know that was a thing. Like, what in the fuck is going on? What did I sign up for? This is so hard. I'm sure it's not as hard for everyone else. I had no idea, in fact, that 70% of the mothers feel that way. Because if you're familiar with human design, 70% of the world are manifesting generators and generators. Our purpose, we're put here to work and make the world a better place. Not that we don't love, not that we don't make amazing parents, we do. And not that we definitely love our children as much as anyone else. But we are more for quality over quantity time because our purpose in life is to work. So I digress a little bit, but I want to just give you some examples of ways that our childhood can carry on this proving and this controlling energy. So how can that sabotage your leadership? Well, constant second guessing. I was constantly second guessing myself because I didn't trust myself. Because I'm secretly in the back, I thought, well, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as these men. Now, I consciously didn't think that, but it was always there and it was sabotaging me because I was overcomplicating decisions. I was avoiding risk because I never wanted to do anything that I didn't, with 100% certainty, know that I could be successful at because I didn't want to fail ever. And I had a disconnection from my instincts, from my team, from my truth. When I found human design, that all changed for me because what it gave me was a specific strategy on how I make decisions. My specific design and strategy on how I make decisions. So let me go over that with you. First off is emotional authority. In human design, that's called authority. That is your decision making strategy. Mine is emotional authority. So I must wait for clarity. I cannot make a decision when I'm in emotional high or emotional low. I've got to wait for my emotions to level out. Because what happens is, and when I learned that, I was like, are you kidding me? I thought I called bullshit. No way. I was the best at making quick, snap decisions. I was the go-to person for any problem and I would just get it done. Well, when I learned this, I started experimenting with it. And what I found, many of those decisions that I made snap right in the moment were based on fear. They were not based on which way I wanted to move, what I wanted to accomplish. My goal was based on what I didn't want to happen, the fear of what could happen. So when I waited out that emotion, then things got clearer after that. And as an emotional authority, typically you need to wait overnight. You may make that decision, but wait until your emotions level out to decide whether that's the right way to go or not. Then, if you have sacral authority, that is that instant gut response in the moment. So that I'm sure even if you're an emotional authority or another authority, we still get that sacral push, right? That feeling. We even say, oh, I felt it in my gut. It was right or it was wrong. You can move very quickly if you're a sacral authority based upon that gut feeling. However, if you're around emotional people, you may still need to pause to get those emotions out so you can see clearly again. At least pause long enough to get out of their vicinity, kind of regroup, get back in yourself, and then make your decision. Then you have splenic authority. That's an instinctive knowing in the now, but it's whisper quiet. Very different than sacral. Sacral is it's big, it's bold, it's there, and it'll stick around. Splenic, it's fleeting. You have to really be quiet, be listening to your body, be in tune with your intuition because it will go. You might even want to just be alone. When you know there's a big decision coming, maybe meditate, maybe take a walk, if you do breath work, something that can just get you out of your mind and into your body to get those emotions out that are not yours so you can see clearly again. Then we have ego authority. Decisions come from a felt, I want this or I don't want this. And really, you have to ask yourself in the moment, is this something I have energy for or I don't? And the first thing that comes into your mind, yes, you have energy for this. No, you don't. Go with it. Clarity lives in desire, not logic. So you don't want to overthink this. You want to think yourself out of it. Only commit when it feels empowering. You have energy for this. Then you have self-projected authority. Truth is heard in your own voice. Talk it out to find what feels aligned. If you've ever met someone, you're like, why in the hell are they even talking to me? They never want me advice. They just want to hear themselves talk. Well, that's on purpose because their answers come when they physically speak. All of a sudden the answers will pop out. You'll probably be like, oh, I just answered my own question. If you find yourself saying that a lot, you're probably a self-projected authority. And it's only correct when it sounds like you and it feels like your identity. If you are pretending to be someone else or saying things you should be saying, no, you need to speak from the heart and your answers will come right out of your mouth. And then you have mental authority. And clarity comes from being in the right environment with the right sounding boards, right? So there's no inner authority there, no intuition with that. Decisions emerge through externalized thought, not internal sensation. So you really have to, if you're a mental authority, you have to make sure that your environment is healthy. As that mental authority, if you're ever feeling, man, this just doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel like I should be here, get out, because you shouldn't. It's all about your environment. Let's move on from that. And I just want to, if that just gave you enough information to confuse the shit out of you, go to our website, brookemdukes.com, and download your free human design chart. From there, you'll get a series of emails about your specific design, and part of that will be your authority, so you can learn all about it. What does letting go really look like? So, letting go doesn't mean giving up or being careless. It means making the brave choice to stop gripping so tightly, to pause, to wait, to trust yourself, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Some of the best decisions I have ever made were the ones that I was scared. I was scared of saying yes because I wasn't sure if it was going to work out, but I knew it was the right one, and it never failed. It was the right decision every time. But it took me slowing down enough to feel into it before responding, because leading without over explaining or over justifying, that's powerful. So let me give you a quick story. I When I first started this business, this is the fourth business that I've started, and it was the most personal to me because I put a big, bold vision out there. I want to change the world. I want to raise the world's frequency, and I'm going to be a global impact to be able to do that. It was huge. With that, I also knew that there were some things that were standing in my way. And so I paused the business for 3 months, even though everything in me screamed, you got to go, you got to push harder, make it happen. You don't want to run out of money. You don't want to have to get a loan or take an investor. Every day I doubted myself on it. It was hard, but I knew I had to let go of control, even though it was terrifying. I knew that I needed to learn to trust my emotional wave, to trust my body. Most of the businesses, well, not even most, all of the businesses prior to this one, I led with my head, right? It was logic. I was making decisions based on fear. This was different. And I knew I was shifting identity because, yes, I've had a lot of success in my life, but I did it with a very masculine frequency that was push, force, chase. I wanted to do this business completely different. Ease, flow, attract, follow my bliss, listen to my body, don't override my body. And I knew I wasn't there yet. And I was going to take myself and the team, if not in the opposite direction, at least in a roundabout way of getting where we needed to go. So I had to trust that I needed to take those 3 months. And I really needed to get into alignment. I needed to study human design more because I knew that that was the game changer. I wanted to bring human design into leadership, into businesses. During that time, I attracted my COO, who now I want to say I can't do anything with it. From a business perspective, she makes my life so much easier, and I would not want to do it without her. We created our business bot, Babs, Badass Bot, which has been just, I can't even tell you how much faster we can do things, how we can take this amazing idea and put it into reality so quickly. And I really honed my human design skills because I wanted to make an impact in the world. All of that. And we hit the ground running. I know for a fact, because we have all the numbers to show it, from that 3 months, we exponentially grew our business by me not doing a damn thing. Just by sitting back, listening to my body, trusting myself that it was the right thing to do. In that fourth month, we skyrocketed. We had more members. We had better ideas. We had more clients. I mean, you name it, in every single way, everything shifted. So I want to leave you with a few questions to really sit with, because awareness is where the shift begins. So Where am I controlling? Because I'm afraid. That's a big one. Journal on it. Really feel into that. If you're listening to this podcast, if you made it all the way to the end, odds are you're controlling a lot in your life and you don't need to. What would it look like to trust myself? That is so powerful. It's so freeing. And what's the worst case scenario that I'm trying to prevent? And is that even real? Here's the thing. I'll say this in front of audiences all the time, and no one ever gets it right. And I ask, what's the number one thing that people are afraid of? And I'll get heights, public speaking, spiders. I mean, you name it. It's all out there. All of those are very scary. And the number one thing is the unknown. So if we are afraid of something and we go there in our mind, I'm talking, we feel it. We're watching a movie, all the detail from all of the senses go to the worst case scenario. Feel the pain, feel the embarrassment, the humiliation, the failure, all of it. Feel it. One, you might think, well, shit, that's not even going to happen. Two, you've taken all of the charge out of it. You're no longer going to be as afraid of it as you were because it's no longer unknown. You've already gone there. So this one's really, really important. Don't overlook it. When you stop trying to control everything, you make space for something better. Decisions that actually align with who you are and where you want to go. Because control doesn't create freedom, clarity does. And if this hit home, if you know that you're still gripping too tight, trying to hold it all together, and you're exhausted by the weight of leadership, this is exactly what we work on in Success by Design. It's where high achievers come to let go of the hustle, trust their decisions, and build businesses that finally feel as good as they look. DM me the word trust on any social media platform at Brooke Dukes, and I'll show you how to get started. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Burn On Not Out. If this resonated, check the show notes for tools and resources to help you slow down, trust yourself, and keep leading without the constant pressure and stress that wears you down. Remember, real success doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from slowing down long enough to see clearly and leading from clarity and peace instead of control and fear. I'll see you next week.